the sexual harassment happens because of behavioral zones categorization, an employee has a lot of rights. Let us go through them. Any woman employee who is facing sexual harassment has a few rights which have been awarded by the Sexual Harassment Act and by the Supreme Court of India. Let's go through them one by one. The first and the primary right that a lady employee has is to escalate this sexual harassment complaint without any fear. So if a woman is facing sexual harassment, she can walk up to the internal complaints committee and raise the point. She can go ahead and let them know what she is going through. It is then up to them to guide her further. If in an organization the woman employee does not have the confidence that she will be given the right guidance and the right justice when she is facing sexual harassment, then eventually women may be facing sexual harassment, but they will stop escalating the issues. One other right that they have is complete confidentiality. This means that when they have escalated the matter to the internal committee should not at any point in time discuss this issue with anyone in the organization. They may, as a matter of choice and as a matter of judgment, discuss this with the HR head of the organization, but not at a lower level. They may want to inform the CEO or the top management about it. That is again dependent on their choice and the situation or the type of complaint they have been receiving. Complete confidentiality of the employee is imperative. Now let us understand this from a little more detail. Let us consider the case of Anita. She is facing sexual harassment from Rajesh, and Rajesh is her team leader. She goes ahead and escalates the matter to the internal committee. The internal committee, in their discussion, call the unit head of Rajesh and discuss this matter with him. The idea is to uncover more information about this case. But in discussing this, they release the name of Anita, who is the victim. Now, the unit head may not be aware that confidentiality has to be maintained, and he discusses this further with someone else. Over the next few days, everyone in the organization comes to know that Anita has filed a sexual harassment case. There are two things that happen in this case. People will start looking at Anita from suspicious eyes. They will want to know why she has filed a complaint. What is it that she is going through? And more importantly, why is it only her that she has faced sexual harassment? Her behavior will be looked suspiciously. Rajesh will also be questioned in corridors and on the tea stall, but he may not face that much a problem because he could just brush it off saying, I don't know something that she's done. She is doing something that she feels is right. I have no idea about it. If I have said something that I have not intended to offend her, it is her choice to take it the way she wants to. So I am unaware. He could just brush it off. Is that the right attitude? It doesn't really matter. What matters is over the next few days, Anita's image in the organization has got maligned. People, especially men, will stay away from her. They will shy away from her. Maybe even women will stay away from Anita because they may think that they will get pulled in the case as a witness, and no one wants to be called to the head office for being a witness in a complaint because it can impact their relationships with their colleagues and their peers. So people start shying away from Anita. Maybe not Rajesh, but definitely Anita. That is why complete confidentiality is required. Another problem that can happen is when the name of Anita is released, there could be a few key witnesses who may take a decision to collectively abstain from the witnessing of the crime. This is something that is oftentimes observed. Hence, complete confidentiality has to be maintained. It is also possible that Anita may visit the HR office to file the complaint, but may actually go there saying that she is going to visit the HR head or an HR executive on some official work. It may not be the right thing to do, it may be a lie, but it is required. Confidentiality is mandatory. The other right that a complainant specifically has is that there has to be an assurance of non-retaliation. Let us suppose Anita has filed a complaint and the next day on, Rajesh starts creating a hostile work environment as a matter of revenge. What will happen? Other women employees who are probably going through sexual harassment may look at this behavior and may refrain from filing further complaints. They will get demotivated. And if this continues, Rajesh may even get more powerful because he is getting the support from everyone else to do as he likes and to sexually harass Anita without getting punished. So this is very important. Non-retaliation. No one gets retaliated for filing a complaint. The other right that a complainant has is that there has to be a time-bound process. It cannot endlessly go on. She has filed a complaint and they are doing hearings and witnesses and they are doing their inquiries. Obviously, the internal committee is a part of the organization. Someone could be a finance manager, someone could be an HR executive, some other could be in the procurement department or maybe in the security department. They all have their own set of tasks and responsibilities that have been allotted to them as a part of their job roles. The internal committee responsibility is an additional initiative they have taken towards their own and organizational development. Now, they have to extract time and go through the proceedings of the complaint that they have received. It is a time-taking process. It requires a lot of effort. There is also a lot of documentation that happens in it. There may be a lot of papers that they may have to sign, they may have to make a lot of notes and then summarize the notes, get into discussions, discuss with other committee members and maybe even involve a couple of people from the top management. But one of the rights of a complainant is to have a time-bound process. So the moment a complaint is raised, the complainant knows that the first proceeding or the first recommendation, the first set of findings will be out in a period of 90 days. That is the right of a complainant. It cannot happen that the complaint has been filed and there is absolutely zero action taken for the next maybe 180 days. So for 6 months things are lingering on. It is not right. This has been prescribed by the Government of India in the Sexual Harassment Act. One other right that the complainant has is that the IC or the internal committee has to be well trained and very skilled in handling the complaints in the proper manner. If the internal committee is not well aware, it is possible that they may miss out on a few key points while they are either documenting or while they are either asking the questions or interviewing or inquiring about what really happened. Important that the internal committee be well skilled and trained in handling the sexual harassment complaints. One other right that the complainant has is assistance in case of a criminal proceedings. In a case when sexual harassment actually has not happened and what has happened is a sexual assault. In that case, the case or the sexual harassment complaint goes on to a civil proceeding. It goes into a criminal case which will be handled by the local police. This escalation will be done by the employee with the support and guidance of the internal committee. So the internal committee also has to be aware as to how to escalate this matter of a sexual abuse to the local police station. This is something that the complainant has a right to. A very basic right that the complainant has is an empathetic attitude by the internal committee. They should actually feel the pain of going through sexual harassment while working to earn a living. This earning a living could be to educate a younger brother, or could be to fend for the family. It could be to build a career. It could be any reason that the woman is out there working and making a living. But if the internal committee does not understand the pain, if they cannot put themselves in the shoes of the complainant, they may not be able to really guide the complaint to the right direction. This is something which is imperative. The complainant also has the right to appeal. So after 90 days, when the first findings and proceedings are released, if the complainant feels that she is not satisfied, she has the right to appeal against this first set of findings, and the hearing can be done once again. The inquiry can be done once again, maybe further, maybe even deeper. It is possible that the internal committee may choose to look into the records of the culprit from the previous organization. It is possible that they may want to know from his colleagues, from his peers, as to what really his behavior is. They may want to look at the CCTV footage while he is moving around in the office to understand in a detailed way how his behavior really is. Is he really someone who is a habitual offender? Is he someone who oftentimes brushes into women or takes chances in touching them somehow or the other? Is he a person who doesn't understand the modesty of a woman? Is he a person who doesn't know the value of a woman's respect? Now, these are some things that the internal committee has to do based on their understanding of the complaint and understand the severity of the offense. This is something that the complainant has a right to.